Okay, so now this is bone dry, I'm going to start adding some mid-tone colours. And this will be just the same mix again. It'll be raw umber with a little bit of raw sienna and some Winsor Violet, which is already on the palette, okay? So we're going a little bit more pigmented, and I still need to have a bit of that violet in there, okay? So let's pop that on. This is on dry paper now. Okay, so let's take this. I'm going to make sure that I again follow the hair in the direction in which it's going, and I'm aiming to have quite a lot of dark, you know, where it goes into the bun, because that's out of the light, okay? So as you can see, I'm leaving some streaks of unpainted paper. There are some sort of lighter areas on the left hand side of this. A little bit of dark on that one. And then there's a bit of a twist down in there. So I'm using this flat brush to curve over, just to mimic the shape that the hair is making there. These curves, I want them to be irregular, you know. So now for the bun, that's lighter there, where it butts up against the hair going into it. Let's have some. Then there's this part of it twists into this end of it. So I'm just roughly trying to follow the shape of the structure of the bun. Hasn't got to be exact. And I'm going to leave that dry, because what I want to achieve is a mixture of hard and soft strands of hair. So by leaving this dry, when I come to sort of wet it all later on, some of it will dissolve quite easily and some of it will stay quite hard, and that's a nice look. So I'm just going to leave that section dry, and then we'll be ready for the third one. Okay. Getting back to the hair now, this is bone dry once more. So now I'm going to go for some real strong darks, and the mix for that will be burnt sienna, a bit of water, don't want to run out halfway through, burnt sienna, a little bit of Winsor Violet again. Should be about it. So let's get a bit more just in case, because I don't want to run out. So burnt sienna, bit more water, and some Winsor Violet. Oh heck, too much Winsor Violet. See, this is what happens. Winsor Violet is such a strong colour. Right, so I'll just pull some of that away to a new part of the palette and add a ton more burnt sienna to counteract that. Okay. So this colour now again is going to go in some very dark pieces of the hair. I'm going to leave the areas that I left white, I'm going to leave them white. This is the sort of most sunlit part of the hair, so I'm going to, at this side. So in tight by the bun, I'm going to put those strong darks. And there's some like triangular tapering shapes like that in places. And again, in at the nape, you know, at the V sort of shape where that bun goes in, it's much darker in there. Yes, that's actually a swathe there, so I'll put that in. I'm sort of pressing my brush and then twisting it like that and dragging that up. You know, you can just use your brush however is easy for you. Let's see, there's a bit of a dark area there. Okay, and now onto the bun. It's very dark at the back there, and then these twists that are out of the light. But then as it comes up, this is dark here as well, where that twist is going into the bun, the section of the bun that's under, that's over it. So that's a bit darker. And then again, as the bun twists out of the light here at the bottom, it's darker, definitely in there. So that's a bit of a teardrop shape, but it's all dark there. A little bit of a twist there. And so the twist and turn of the hair. And again, let's just have a few odd strands breaking through the white areas, just for a bit of contrast and to make it a bit softer, a bit more natural. Okay, so I think now maybe some very fine little tendrils of hair coming down there a little bit more, and I'll leave it at that to dry again. This is bone dry now, so I'm going to apply a wash of clear water to the whole thing, and then just let the paint sink in, you know, and relax into the paper a few degrees. And then while it's still moist, I'm going to drop in a little sort of sheen of maybe raw sienna to give some golden glints, you know, to the hair. So to re-wet it again, I'm going to use this soft, large mop brush, load it up with clear water, and I'm going to start, you know, very gently at one edge of the shape, and glide the brush very gently back and forth, you know, keep in contact with the paper very gently. And doing this now will soften this collection of washes that we put on. Let's just turn my brush. If you're doing this, you know, obviously you're doing it at home, turn your board if that suits you. Turn your board to get a better angle with this moist brush. Now that's just had a gentle wash put on there. You can just see this there. You can see that faint sheen that's on there, okay? And what we can do to help it is just tip it, you know, tip it up, say 90 degrees, and just let everything bleed very subtly, very gently. You probably won't notice it very much, but it will just unify that collection of three washes, which were all hard edged, okay? It'll just relax them a tiny bit. Hopefully make the hair look more natural and soft. I'm just tipping it the other way now, you know, so giving it 360 degrees, turning it all around and seeing how this looks. Before it goes off, you know, before it gets too dry, and you've got to keep an eye on it by holding it to a light source. See there? There's a bit of sheen still on it. That's what I want now to stay. So I'm going to pick up my wash of raw sienna that I mentioned. Not very strong, but you know, a little bit of pigment in there, not too viscous. And then I'm just going to very gently stroke that over the hair in places. reload your brush often because the damp paper will suck this colour off. So let's not forget this part of the bun as well at the back. And by very gently doing this, you're helping to unify some of the previous washes even more. These strands near the front of the face, I want them to be a little bit softer than the others, so I'm going to drag the brush a few times just to encourage the paint to soften even more. And you can probably now perceptibly see the paint starting to give, you know, starting to sort of dissolve as you're doing this dragging in places. And so it's looking a lot softer now. And then to finish off, I'm just going to go in with some practically neat burnt umber, like that, quite viscous, almost straight from the tube. And I'm just going to pop some very dark strokes of brown in those very dark creases, folds of the hair, where it goes into the bun at the back. So this is the last thing now that I'll do. That's the very darkest part there at the back. And there I think I'll stop. Okay, so hopefully we've achieved, you know, a sort of soft bun with the sweep of hair, you know. It's a bit of a darker patch there. One last bit darker in there. And I think we'll leave it there. Actually, I'll just zoom in if you want to see more detail. That's about as close as I can get without it blurring, okay? If you want more softness, you know, you can go in again with a slightly moist brush. That's a brush that's been wetted and then flicked really well. Say if you really wanted, you know, more softness there, you can just lose some more of those more defined lines, lose them. It's down to you how soft you want to make the hair look. I still want some hard lines, because otherwise it won't look soft in places. You need hard and soft against each other for it to work. I think that's a little bit better there. Yeah, that was just crossing. And again, similarly with this thirsty brush, you can drag out some white highlights as well. So just moisten my brush again really well, rinse it off, wipe it, and then we can take some nice soft highlights out there now. Twist your brush, press, lift. So there. So this will give us sort of soft highlights now. There's quite a sweep of highlighted hair there, so I'll just take that out. There. Okay, and I think I will stop now. Okay, thanks for watching.